What's up, and welcome to another episode, Master Moats Film Session. And today, I'm going to be talking about James Washington and some of the positive plays that he had in the Chiefs game. Now, obviously, we know that it was a unique season for him in terms of playing time and usage, but he does continue to flash. And when he does get these opportunities to make these plays, I do think that it's, worth talking about a little bit. So with that being said, man, this is James Washington down here at the bottom of the screen. I'll play it in full speed, and after that, I will slow it down. I ain't gonna lie, I still get excited seeing it. Don't it? Let's go. Alrighty. So to start it out, man, simple coverage from the Chiefs defensively. They're playing a two-man concept, basically meaning he's locked here, man-to-man there, he's on the back, he's here. The safeties, now granted, they're walked down, but they're still with their basic responsibilities of being half-field players, okay? So he has this half, he has that half, all right? But essentially, that's all they're playing here. And Ben identifies it. Now, granted, they disguise it well. Tyrann Mathieu walking around right here definitely gives it the illusion that it's cover 3 or potentially some type of 8-man drop as well. But like I said, for 7-man, he definitely identifies it, and he goes to the matchup that he likes the most right now. And it makes sense because if you look body position-wise, right, this safety is a lot further over, here where he could be a playmaker with that receiver out there. Whereas over here, Tyrann Mathieu, he's already past him in the sense of his depth, right? Staying on top of route versus being underneath it. So he's no longer a player in this. We might as well put an X on him. So you have the legitimate one-on-one. You have the space to the sideline. So that gives Ben the ability to miss a little bit, right? Because if James is all the way out here by these hash marks, that's these things over here. If he's all the way out here by these hash marks, Ben has to be 100% correct. Otherwise, you have to deal with the interception factor from the cornerback, or the potential of the ball going out of bounds, or just James not being able to get 2 feet in bounds. So good job by James with his route, making sure he gives enough room for 7. And then obviously good job by 7, putting the ball where it needs to be. But like I said, good job in terms of identifying the matchup. And then you talk about high pointing a ball. Holy cow. Can we just, this is what it's supposed to look like. When we say 50-50 balls, jump balls, this is what we're expecting. High pointed, 2 hands on it. You see his helmet is facing the ball, is letting you know that he is fundamentally sound on this particular rep right here. And this is impressive, man. 2 feet in bounds as well. When you talk about James Washington, we know, with him, he is a little bit of a mixed bag. He has some athletic attributes, but like we said, we just don't see enough of him. But man, look at the route. I like it initially. Chop off the route. I mean, in terms of the release, right? Stem him a little bit, but you're ultimately trying to get in the setup right here. You want to sell the stutter, sell the double move. And how does he do that? He gets choppy. Look at the bend in his knees, the bend in his arms, but more importantly, his helmet, it's facing in. Now, why is that important? Because as a defender, we're taught a couple of things. For me, I've been taught that, you're supposed to follow the body plate, right? Look at the numbers. Are the shoulders turning? If the shoulders commit, then you can commit. But at times we know, hey man, when guys use their helmet and they turn their head, sometimes DBs are susceptible to that. And right here, he gets the DB to stop his feet. And that's all he needs, because now it gives him a chance to get even with him. And once he's even, now the jump ball becomes in play. If the corner is able to stay on top of this route the whole time, that jump ball is null and void, because he's not going to be able to get the leverage and momentum to even get in position for that play. But as a whole, like I said, even with the press alignment, I like how he stems him off. Yep, gets a little bit of whiff. Nice little head fake inside and jabs with his foot. Now from there, go up top, go make a play. Beautiful work right there by James, man. Beautiful work. All right, now this last play we're going to break down shows James Washington once again going up and just, getting the jump ball, the 50-50 ball, and continuing to show some playmaking abilities, things that we just, wish we would have saw a lot more of this season. But either way, man, definitely, excited about what the future holds for him because of how talented he is. But if you have not heard, if you have not seen, a new year. You need some motivation, baby. Check out Moats Theory of Life. Yes, God helping you become a person of impact and inspiration. Some of the things that I hold true to my values every day as a man, a husband, a father, right here in this book, man, helps me out. Hopefully it can help you out. So if you don't have a copy, or you know somebody that needs a copy, hit it up, moatstheory.com. Let's go. Alrighty. So with that being said, here's Mr. James Washington at the top of the screen. Play it in full speed, and after that, we're gonna break this down. All right. So first off, let's talk about the coverage, okay? So coverage-wise, Chiefs are just playing two-man. That was their coverage of choice, especially on some of these longer distance downs. This is obviously a 1st and 10 right here, but yeah, anytime they thought that the Steelers were going to pass the ball or had to pass the ball, they went with this two-man concept because it forces Ben Roethlisberger to put the ball in some tighter spots. And this particular play, man, I like it a lot by Seven and by James Washington, because with this coverage, like we talked about in the last one, that two-man, this time, where do we see this different? Tyrann Mathieu, right? Last time, he was down here, and we talked about how James was already even slightly past him, and ultimately we put an X on him because we said he was no longer a factor in the play. This time, he's sitting back here with way more depth, way more like a traditional two-man would look like. So now he is in play here. We obviously know this is tight coverage right here. So you're talking about a tight window that you're looking to put this ball in, okay? So the stakes are a lot higher on this throw. It's a lot more difficult of a throw. And with that being said, though, look at how Ben challenges him, though, man. Puts the ball in a place where James is able to get up top, right? Because James, even though it was tight coverage, he still was on top of the receiver. When you're on top, I mean, he still was on top of the defender. And by him being on top of the defender, that gives him the freedom to jump up and high point balls like that. When the corner is able to stay on top of you, it restricts you from being able to jump up sometimes or just not be in the best position. But right here, because James is on top of it, Ben reads it, puts it front shoulder instead of back shoulder. Good job by both of those guys in their rapport here. But then from there, man, just going up and be a playmaker. And like I said, you had to put it in the perfect spot because you can see, like I said, last time, it was truly a one-on-one, whereas this is not the same concept, right? You look at the route, same route, in terms of just the vertical release, okay? This time he doesn't even sell the full double move. He just says, okay, I got him off the release, let's go. But right here, look where this ball is caught at. One defender, two defenders. It's not a lot of margin for error right here, man. So like I said, good job by both of those guys. But ultimately, man, this is something that I do think if, you know, they can find a way to make it work with James and change his mind, that this could have blossomed into something, or at least see James continue to blossom into more of this downfield, high pointing the ball type situations, because this isn't an easy thing to do. He's going against a good DB. Like I said, he has help over top, but still the confidence right here, 2 feet inbounds, secures the catch. Love to see it, man. Love to see it. But as we always do, man, I appreciate you for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on James Washington. Is he a receiver that you would potentially want to see come back, or do you feel like it is best for him and best for the team to go in different directions? But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in, and until next time, baby, peace.